Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual, guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. Happy Saturday. I decided to do a video because a lot happened on Friday. And the market panicked because the Orange Lion imposed tariffs, exactly what was expected. And people panicked, but he's doing exactly what I wanted him to do. You may say, what? Doesn't that cause the stock price to tumble? Yes, it does. But if you pull your pants up and realize that this is a buying opportunity, and throughout history, huge events like this, like the pandemic and other things just like this, takes place to cause market crash, to reset economies, to allow the housing industry to come back down. Because right now, the average American, and I want my international audience to hear what I'm saying, the average American cannot afford a home anymore. And even if they can, the taxes are so high that they cannot afford to keep the home. It is really sad. So this is needed to cause a reset. But whenever things like this happen, people panic. The 99 percenters panic, poop in their pants and sell exactly what is expected of them, and they stay poor and they die poor. The 1 percenters do exactly the opposite, and they buy in, understanding that it's a temporary speed bump. So as they panicked, China reciprocated with tariffs for the first time in a massive way, 30 something percent. I believe it was 36% tariffs. And one person visiting my channel said, "Oh no, China retaliated." It was a shocker to them, but not to me. Because during the Biden administration, they imposed heavy tariffs, even 100% tariff, and even blocked, before they left office, Chinese EVs from coming to America. And China just kept doing business as usual because they were putting things in place. And I talked about that since last year. They saw what in America administration changes, but policies never change. So China was building up with BRICS, with Russia, India, South Africa, Ethiopia, Argentina, and so many others that make up BRICS now, with many more getting ready to join. And China was waiting for this to happen, the Belt and Road Initiative, and the BRICS nations to continue to grow. So now China is not dependent on the American economy to sell goods anymore. They're selling goods worldwide. And now they're at a point where they cannot be bullied like that anymore. So it was a rude awakening. But I can see it. However, I'm not sure why the American administration couldn't see it. Perhaps, again, like I said, they need a reset because the American stocks are way overpriced. And real estate is way overpriced. So they need a reset for everything to come back down. Well, whilst all of this is happening, creating a buying opportunity, NIO stands to benefit the most of every single Chinese EV company. But why is that? Well, with the 34 or 36% tariff that China retaliated with, NVIDIA chips, the Chinese EV company is going to have to pay that tariff, further decreasing their margins if they do. But there is one Chinese EV company that does not depend on that. Ah, yes. When everyone else was saying, why are NIO investing in making chips? They can just buy it from NVIDIA, can't they? NIO saw what was coming. William Lee saw what was coming, and they invented their own chip that is 4 times faster than an NVIDIA or an X chip. 4 times faster, invented their own chip. This was mind-boggling, but Wall Street pretended not to see. Because the motley fool, like that guy Tatavosian I spoke about, continued to lie and say, like just recently, and continue to encourage people not to buy shares in NIO. And pretending that never even spoke about the chip that was invented. Well, now the Chinese EV companies will have to turn to Neo to buy chips. They will have to turn to Neo to buy Skyos. They will have to buy, instead of Linux, they will have to turn to Neo to buy our driverless technology, the Neo world model. And the CEO already said they're open to selling it to the entire industry, but to our partnerships first. So people still did not get that. Now with the tariffs, they will all come begging. Just like that nasty, wicked, ugly vampiress Ursula von der Leyen, who was saying China is unfair, China dictatorship, China blah blah blah. Now they're going back to China, don't know if you guys saw this or read the news, begging to renegotiate tariffs because they realize that America is not their friend. Donald Trump is not their friend. Donald Trump will do what is necessary to make America great again, even if he has to stand on their neck. And of course, Europe had tariffs against American goods, but America never retaliated. Now they are. Canada, who thought America is their friend, will now have to go back and beg China. That's why they got rid of little Justin Trudeau had to put his tail between his leg and step down. The new guy, bet your last dollar, they will be coming to China. Mexico will be coming to China. The world will be coming to China, exactly what I expected when the Orange Lion took over. It is playing perfectly into my book. I said that Nvidia will also tumble in share price, and we see it happening, and more pain will be coming for Nvidia, a lot more pain. Because now the Chinese EV companies, like I said, will be buying chips from Neo due to the tariffs. China is developing a lot of in-house chips for phones and wearable technologies and laptops and everything that is needed. China is doing it themselves now. So they said, as they continue to put tariffs against China, China will continue to develop in-house like we're seeing. So the tariffs no longer work. And while the Tatavosian is telling you, because see, the Motley Fool just had magazines, but now they're using social media like YouTube and whatever to spread their propaganda because they realize no one is buying their magazines anymore. That's why the Tatavosian guy has come onto YouTube. And, excuse me guys, you have some people that recognize what he's doing, the propaganda machine. Most of us, the 1%ers, have woken up in life, and we realized that the propaganda, the way the game is played, I've always spoken about the way the game is played. It's a game. And they're using him to spread propaganda and lies. And while they do that, their friends keep buying into Neo. So much so that Arizona PRS Trust, Arizona here in America, acquired a new stake in shares of Neo. And this is one of the fear and the rhetoric that is propagated. When they have nothing else to talk about, the shorts will come out on my channel or on other channels and say, well, the Orange Lion may cause Neo to delist. But yet, Arizona PRS Trust acquired a new stake in shares of Neo in the fourth quarter, according to the company in its most recent Form 13F filing with the SEC, a new stake. The institutional investor acquired 305,000 shares of the company stock valued at approximately $1,330,000. While Tatavosian is telling you it's not a buy yet, I will not touch it, he says, but they're touching it. He's telling you wait till it skyrocket up and then you should buy. Exactly the opposite of what financial education teaches you. And I did not go to school for finance, guys. I did not go to school for business. My son is in college for business, not me. But how do I know this? A number of other institutional investors have also recently made changes to their position in the company. FMR LLC grew its holdings and shares of Neo, another American company, by 5,388.5% in the third quarter. FMR LLC now owns 5,394,895 shares of the company stock valued at $36,038,000. All whilst the shorts, the trolls, the negative Nancy's, the propaganda machine will come even on my channel and tell you every reason why you should not buy. Flow Traders shares in the last quarter. Flow Traders US LLC bought a new position in NEO during the third quarter, valued at $141,000. Hilltop Holdings, another American company, bought a new stake in shares of NEO in the third quarter worth about $130,000. XTX Topoko Limited purchased a new stake in shares of NEO during the third quarter, valued at $1,178,000, whilst the propaganda machine, like the Motley Fool, like Seeking Alpha, which they will ask you to subscribe, be a paid subscriber. For what? For your lies? For you to keep me poor and tell me to buy into companies that is getting ready to tank, like Tesla, which is getting ready to crumble even more. They lost 16%. They were down 16% year over year in their worldwide sales. It's only the poor Chinaman that don't understand that yet. He still thinks Tesla is great. But the rest of the world understand that it's inferior technology. And they will continue to crumble. But they will tell you, like Dan Ives, Tesla is a great buy. Even he had to change his tune recently and downgraded them, even him. But how did Money Making Mitch see this 2 years ago? It says in the third quarter, valued of ETF Advisors LLC purchased a new stake in shares of NEO, a new stake, whilst they're telling you don't buy. In the third quarter, valued at about $1,327,000, hedge funds and other institutional investors own 48.55% of NEO. This is why they're telling you, the retail investor, to sell your shares, because they want to buy up even more. And this is the game in the West. They want the majority of their citizens to stay poor, to keep working until they're 62, 65. On my job, there's a guy 70 plus. He will work till he die. And this is what they want here, especially in America, because the system depends on it. They don't want you waking up and becoming millionaires so that your children, all they have to do is manage the money. They don't want that. This is why I've always said it's a game. While the shorts, the illiterate animals, come on my channel and they say, oh, you guys are delusional. They say I am misguiding people. They should go and say that to BlackRock and the rest. I hope you guys found this video on a Saturday to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played in Wall Street. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.